details of our next piece. All right. It is an extrude, as we probably already know, but look at this. It is a solid plate with just 8 holes in it. So when I extrude this thing, make sure that you select the center hole too. So if you'll notice, all that's missing are the 8 holes, the 8 screw holes, and it is 13 millimeters deep. 13 is our number. So we're ready to extrude. E for extrude. Click on the top face and click on the center, both. It's a solid piece. Gotta have everything. And it is 13 millimeters thick. And just like that, you now have a cover plate. Now, the one thing about this cover plate that I don't like the way that they do this is they don't have that center hole. And this thing is going to end up with that thing. But whatever, we'll put it on whenever it's time. All right, so we got a 13 millimeter thick lid. That's pretty thick, by the way. And now once we're done with that, we're ready to make a new component. Same process as before. We're going to go ahead and make a new component here, and that's going to be called screw. All right? And this is where what we're making probably doesn't jive in real life, but whatever. So where we're going to choose to do this component is on the top, but the steps to creating the new component are the same. So go up to Assemble, New Component, and give it a name. And the name is screw. Probably is more like a bolt, but whatever. It is 10 millimeters in diameter, so that might be a really thick screw. I guess they have lag screws that are a centimeter thick, so I guess that's okay, but whatever. So the name of this part is called screw. I'm going to hit OK. And now it's going to say, all right, how do you want to deal with this thing? All right, well, what we want to do is we want to use one of the holes to create this. We want to use one of those holes. So, same process as before. We need to go ahead and do a sketch. Project one of the holes, just pick one. For me, it's going to be the same one I always pick. Choose the top. And I'm going to go ahead and project the top hole, the same one I've been using the whole time. Just this thing. Only the top one. Could you do them all right now at the same time? Yes. Yes, you could. But I'm not going to. I'm only going to do one. All right. I chose one item. I'm going to hit OK. So I get to my one screw part, and it is purple. One of them is purple. And as soon as we're done with this, we'll be finished for the day. So this is our last step for today. And now it's time to extrude. And here are the details of our extrusion. All right. We're going to extrude downward 30 millimeters. This is not a cut. This is a new body, okay? Because we're dealing with a new component. We're making a screw. So we're going to get the downward part where the threads are first, and then we're going to extrude upward. finish the sketch of the one item. And I'm going to hit E for extrude. Click on the 1 point. Make sure your arrow's going downward. And we're going to want it -30 because we want it to go downward 30. Now I'll zoom in on that so you can see what it is. I just moved my arrow downward. And when I moved it downward, it turned negative. So I made sure when I typed in my distance, I continued that and typed it in as -30. Now, if you'll notice really clearly at the bottom of this hole, that screw does not go all the way to the bottom of the hole. You never want your bolts or your screws, whatever you're putting in, to bottom out because then it won't be able to get a good seal when you go in and make your parts for this. So, of course, this is going to be watertight or liquid tight or airtight. So you got to make sure that you don't have that problem. All right, so -30, hit OK. And now what you have is you have the bottom part of the screw. You do not have the screw head yet. So that's what we need to make. We'll make that real quick and then we'll get out of here. So the next item is going to be based on that same surface. And it has a diameter of 15. And there's your detail that you need. 15 millimeters is the diameter of your circle for your screw head. Can we all hear this? Jimmy, you good with this? You're holding your head, Jimmy. You already did the sketch? All right. Okay, so here we go. New sketch. I'm putting on top of the other screw head. Don't go anywhere else. Put it on top of the screw head here. And now it's going to want to know, what do I want to do? I want to make a circle using that same center point. Okay? And the dimension there is 15. It should turn black because you used the center of the circle before it. It's got a 15 millimeter diameter. And we're done with that part. It's time to extrude it. We're going upward this time with it because it's a screw head. So that screw head is going to have a height of 6 millimeters. So you're extruding it upward 6 millimeters. And then that's where we will stop. I'll finish my sketch. Extrude. Grab the circle. Make sure you grab the whole thing, not just one part. Grab both parts of that circle. And you're going to extend it upward, kind of like the screw head is. But make sure it says 6 millimeters, not 7 like mine did. And hit enter. Oh, by the way, one last thing. Operation should say join. It's the default. Join means the two parts will be joined together forever. They're locked together as one. And that's what we want on this one. This extrude connects to the other one in a solid piece. So operation is join. It should be that way already by default. 6 millimeters, hit OK, and you now have a screw. Without threads, of course. I need you to save this. So I'm going to go up here.